If you get a pair of Lucchese's, especially that classic lines, a custom build, and especially if you get them custom built and cast to your feet, they're actually more comfortable than most of the tennis shoes you've ever worn. They feel like butter on your feet. They're absolutely incredible. Good morning, I'm Dallas Seeley, and we put out a Lucchese video that we had the honor of shooting in a Lucchese store here in Austin just a couple months ago. We've got almost 100,000 views, several comments, several private messages, and by request, we're coming live today from my home office for the ultimate Lucchese boot guide video. I've got 10 of my favorite pairs. We're going to be getting nerdy. We're going to be talking about the skins, the details, all the things. I'm excited. Are you excited? Here we go. So we're coming to you live by request. This is the ultimate Lucchese exotic boot guide video. I've got 10 of my favorite pairs, and I want to start off by taking a step back and saying high-end custom boots from Lucchese, in my opinion, it's some of the best, and it's like a lot of luxury goods, whether it's wine or high-end cars. It is your preference. It's your palate. There's no right or wrong, and it's really your lifestyle and how you're going to use these boots. So Lucchese has all different entry-level lines. They've got mid-tiers. All of these boots are going to be at the highest end classic line or even handmade customs. And so I want to take a minute to take a step back and really tell you guys that think about your lifestyle and how you're going to use your boots. So I wear all of these pairs, and whether you have a boot collection of 3 or 4, you've got a dozen like I do, or you're one of those individuals that has 30, 40, 50 pairs, which I totally get. My wife's kind of putting the reins on me getting more, but totally get it. It's how you're going to use them. So my advice is, as you start to build out your boot collection, think about your lifestyle, think about your days, your weeks, think about your different meetings, your outfits, whether it's, crepe sole on the ranch, whether it's more casual, whether it's going out in the town, or it's more of a dressy, showy boot. You've got to build a collection that is unique and personal to you and that you're going to use. So let's talk about my collection. I've kind of got in my head sort of 2 tiers. I mentioned earlier that car analogy. So think of Ford. I love Ford. Great analogy. I've been driving King Ranches for years, and you've got Ford, right? And then you've got Lincoln, right? And you've got your Lincoln Navigator, and both brands are owned by the same mothership. And so Lucchese makes all different lines, all different price points, and all different types of boots. To me, I've really got 2 main classifications on how I use them. I've got my more casual kind of going out boots, and that would be your Randalls, right? These blue suede Caymans, my Andersons, which are my #1 go-tos. And then I've got my upper echelon, that Lincoln Navigator, that showy dress boot. And that could be, when I go to church with my family, when I go on a date night with my smoking hot wife, and I want a reminder that, hey, I still got a little bit, or I own a real estate brokerage. If I'm going on a multi-million-dollar listing appointment or I'm meeting a multi-million-dollar buyer, right? You've got one chance of a great first impression. And so that's when I'll reach for my sort of upper tier of this collection. So let's take a moment, let's dive in here, and let's get nerdy. Here we go. So I've been wearing Lucchese's for a long time, and the passion and the collection has definitely evolved over the years. And so I want to start off and say, in my personal opinion, If you get a pair of Lucchese's, especially that classic lines, a custom build, and especially, and I've talked about this in another video, the link will be here above. If you get them custom built and cast to your feet, they're actually more comfortable than most of the tennis shoes you've ever worn. So these boots are made of 100% leather. Everything in here, from the heel cap to the vamps to the scallops, everything is going to be leather. And if done right by the artisans, the masters at the El Paso factory, they feel like butter on your feet. They're absolutely incredible. And so one of my goals here today of this video is to really get in depth with you guys and talk about all the different ways you can custom build your collection to be extremely personal to you. I hope the passion for my collection comes through. This is more than just a hobby. As you can see, all these boots, these custom builds, I'm getting the initials put on the inset, and that's very, very by design. Both of my sons, their initials are DS, and so the kind of vision is down the road. This is something that can be passed down to my boys. And yes, Lucchese can relast them to their feet. So there's a lot of purposefulness with all the details of this collection. So I want to start off to my far left, your right, and I want to talk about sort of what I mentioned earlier, that first tier. We've got these custom Randalls. I reached out to Juan and said, hey man, I'm really digging the anthracite finish out, this cool kind of steely gray. You can see all of the cracks, all the crevices here. I love that classic Randall inset. And I want to know, can we do some custom Randall's anthracite finish, and can I get the initials on the inset? And he said, absolutely. And so these came in probably about 6-8 months ago. As you can see, I've been wearing them quite a bit. They're in other videos. Super, super comfortable. With those full quilt ostriches, you can use them on a casual meeting, or if you want to pair them with some dark jeans and a blazer, they're very easy to dress up. These blue suedes just came in. I wore them. We went to a Christian concert over the weekend, Mr. Brandon Lake. I took my wife. She loved it. And I wore some lighter blue jeans with these, and you should have seen her face when she saw the get up. So really, really incredible boots. You've got these dark navy blue suede caimans, right? Juan's dad, Fernie, one of the 3 master boot makers, actually did these by hand. He's done most of the boots in my collection. You've got the braided scallop tops. You've got the initials on the inside. And with this kind of cognac brown on the heel cap, I just really think the color combination pops. It really makes a statement without being too overstated. So blue suedes, really great go-to. Again, I just wore them for the first time over the weekend. Took my wife to a concert. Absolutely love how they fit right out of the box. Not even broken in yet. Fit perfect, custom built to my feet. Going to my far right, your far left, we have these Andersons. And again, in that other video link that I sent, these are going to be my #1 go-to. These are easily by far my most worn boot out of the whole collection. And these are what really started the whole itch and taking things to that next level. So as I said in the previous video, I went into a famous boot store on South Congress here in Austin, and these were a custom build by a customer there. And you can see you've really got this antique burnished cognac finish on the Anderson going full up the entire boot. And for whatever reason, that gentleman never showed up to pick them up as he placed the order. And so I was able to get these. I was able to get them relasted by Lucchese to my custom foot last. And as you can see, I've even put the Soul Saver on the bottom because of how much I wear them. So these are definitely my #1 used go-to boot. I love on any boots, especially exotics, getting 100% of the skin going all the way up. I think personally, it just takes things to the next level, and it really adds a luxury finish, whether on these Andersons, you're going out for a casual meeting or date, or you want to dress them up. So let's talk about the boots in front of me here. You can see there's 4 really cool options. We've got these black cherry bias cut farm raised gator going down. You can see how beautifully done Lucchese's really known for their black cherry finish outs. We've got these incredible cognac Gator tails, and I saw these and fell in love. And what you can see is the tail itself, if you zoom in, is so over pronounced that it really has this kind of cool kind of flow over that I haven't seen much on gator tails, and it also has sort of a similar kind of burnt orange cognac antique finish as my Andersons. You can see a little bit on these rectangle tiles, but you can definitely see the pronounced color variation on the tip of that tail coming over. So, you know, as someone who's really big on the finish outs, the details of these really spoke to me. And then these were really a custom build, and you can still get these. These are full Ayalas, right? And you've got these barrel brown and you've got these black, and you can see that, you know, these are a special cut. You've got the tail cut going up the sides. You've got the head cut of the gator going on front. So really special boots. Again, these aren't offered on Lucchese's website. This is going to be a custom special order. And so reach out to my guy, Juan Hernandez in El Paso for more details. So to finish off kind of going into this collection, we've saved the best for last. I've got 3 different sets of custom Barons, and like I said, I own one of the top real estate brokerages, not only here in Central Texas, but the entire country. So my only plug of the video, if you are looking to buy, sell, or invest, reach out to me today. I'm happy to help. We've got 3 custom Barons, and you know, these are super special to me. All 3 pairs, Juan Hernandez, Ricardo, and the master bootmaking team really just knocked it out of the park. So I want to talk about the custom process, and whether you're doing a custom set of Barons or you're doing a custom set of Caymans or Randalls, Ostriches, it doesn't matter. When you go custom, things really change at Team Lucchese on the attention to detail. So I started to work with Juan, and I started to tell him my vision and about passing them down to my boys down the road. And we really just got so nitpicky down to the finest detail. And I think in any endeavor, especially a luxury good, the difference is going to be in the details. So think about that auto analogy. Think about the brand of Ford, right? What's the difference between an entry level, you know, Ford F-150 with cloth seats and a Ford King Ranch or Platinum Edition? Well, it's going to be in the luxury finish outs of the details, right? Or what's the difference in a Platinum or top of the line Ford Explorer SUV and the Lincoln Navigator? Well, it's going to be in the quality and the detail of the luxury finish outs, right? And so I think that's the same when you're working with anyone from Lucchese on a custom build. So these Barons, we got really nerdy, and I want to take a moment and talk about it. You know, a good example, you can see this part where the tiles start to get more round versus square is called the tinga. So you can see on these that were more stock, the tinga comes higher up on the vamp of the boot. But I wanted, right? I wanted the tinga to be less pronounced and really just to barely start over the edge. So one little detail you can see on these 3 Barons is the tinga, and this was all in the custom build, really barely pronounced over the edge. And so when you get that level of detail, the makers are going to hand select and hand cut the skins of the farm raised gator based on your request. Another request that I wanted, as you can see on the tops of the boots, we've got tinga barely starting at the base and going up right along, right, that seam. And so you can see on all 3 Barons by request that the maker that hand selected these skins really did a beautiful job of choosing where the tinga goes up on the side by design, right? On the back, I want to show you guys the difference on these bearings, which were custom builds, and these guys, which were stock. Look at the difference of the detail and the quality of the tiles on the back. So and again, this is all getting really, really picky, but you can see on the backs of these three bearings, the scales of these farm-raised gators are just absolutely flawless. They're every little detail, every inch of these bearings, which are custom builds, they're hand selecting the best of the best. And then, you can see the difference right there. All right, some more custom ideas for y'all. As we've talked about earlier, something that very purposeful and very by design, we've got the initials on the inset. So working with Juan and the team at Lucchese, we got to choose the font style. We got really specific on how the initials, right, overlap and how they lay with each other. The sizing of the initials. I mean, every little detail. There was tons of conversations for this kind of finished product to end up like it did. And then, another cool, final detail to show, and on these two bearings, it's got it. If you come up, you can see that on any of your custom builds, you can get, a really meaningful quote, a scripture, anything at all that you want inscribed on the inside of the boot. So again, guys, this boot video was by request, and I had an incredible time, going over all the details of my collection. But really, this video is for you guys. And so some key takeaways that I want you to think about. Number one, be purposeful as you build your collection. Whether you have 5, 10, or 50 pairs, make sure that you're going to be wearing all of your boots, right? You don't want them just collecting dust up on a shelf somewhere. And make sure that they're going to be a fit with your lifestyle. So I own a real estate brokerage. As you can see, more of my boot collection is going to be on the upper echelon of the exotic range. If you own a farm, maybe the majority of your boots have crepe soles, and that's okay. So again, make sure they align with your daily lifestyle. Number two, get personal, get specific. If you're going to do a custom build, especially if they're for you, have fun with it. If you want to put your initials, if you want to have a quote or a scripture on the inside, the possibilities are endless, right? As you put thought and emotion and heart into these builds, the end result is going to be that much more meaningful at the end of the day. And then number three, you're working with one of the top luxury brands, not only in Western wear, but one of my favorite luxury brands as a whole. And so is this something that can be passed down to future generations? This is something that is going to be in your family for years and years to come. Remember, boots can be relasted to fit different sizes. So you're getting these purposely built for yourself, but these are works of art. These are true artisans down in El Paso that hand build these. By the way, if you ever have an opportunity to do the VIP tour down in El Paso, it is life-changing to see the 200 plus steps all done by hand, and these artisans that are putting their blood, sweat, and tears, they're giving everything they have into making these absolutely gorgeous pieces of art. Again, guys, my name's Dallas Seeley. I'm the founder and owner of the Seeley Group, one of the top-ranked real estate brokerages in the entire country. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing, we love to help. And if you're thinking about taking things to the next level on your custom boot collection, reach out to my guy Juan Hernandez in El Paso, Texas. Juan and his team of artisans will make your process seamless and will make the end result something that you'll be proud for decades to come. Thank you so much. We've got more boot videos coming to you live here soon. We'll see you next time.